I'm sure you are touched by what the Lord has taught us today. Sometimes some people say, I have not sinned. You see, you're comparing with yourself with some things that you have not done. You have not lied maybe. You have not, spoken ill of others or something like that. And you are just by yourself. But when you are close to the Lord, when you love the Lord, that is when you are present to the Lord, then you will see yourself as you really are. You see, we do not see ourselves. We cannot see ourselves. We have to have a mirror to see ourselves. So when we look into God, we see ourselves. But when we look into others, we may not see ourselves because they are also not in God. But if they are in God, then we will also be able to see ourselves. Now, yesterday I told you about criticism. The one who criticizes has got something in his or her mind by which they are passing judgment on others. They are assessing others. Now, those who are assessed will think that they are perfect because they can't see it. But then when they are telling you something, you don't like it. Maybe the mirror is all not very clean, so you can't see clearly. Only when you are in God, you become very transparent so that it's not you, it is God who sees through you. And you are able to see what He sees because you have transcended yourself. You're no longer by yourself. This is the realm of faith. And so, sometimes when we are criticized, we get angry, we defend ourselves, etc. What is the important thing? Like today's reading, actually we read tomorrow's reading, but today's reading tells us you have to look into yourself. God has given you gifts. Now those gifts will become more and more sharp. You'll be able to focus better when people tell you, give you a criticism, but actually you must look at it as a critique. And this is what you can do. If you do this way, it will become better. So you see, our whole interaction here has to be one in Jesus. Otherwise, we are only putting ourselves up and down. That won't help. But what will help is to draw more and more the godness that is there within us and the gifts He has given us so that we can give more of those gifts. And when we give more, I have a saying, the more you give, the more you can give. In my reflection, I saw that when you give, God gives you more. But what happens when you have more, then all of a sudden you become self-centered, you don't want to give it. When you have been given more, give more. The more you give, the more you can give. Till you are completely not yourself, only God is giving in you, and that flow of God in us will make us experience heaven on earth. So you see, today when we look at what Jesus is saying, this woman has loved much because she saw that in Jesus, she is set free from that internal bondage which has kept her in that state. She was a sinner, they said. Whatever the sins may be, she saw that she can't get out of it. All of us, remember that once you do something wrong, say suppose you tell a lie. After some time you tell another lie because you have told this lie. So after some time, some more people come and then you have to tell 3-4 lies. So this becomes a pattern afterwards. The script is written to set yourself free So you make the script for you. So the script afterwards starts becoming a habit. And once a habit is formed, it is very difficult to get out of that habit. We become obsessive compulsive in our disorders. And then we refuse any change. We just want to remain that way. This is what is not good. And so she saw this. I'm going to be internally in bondage. And she came there, she repented, and she did what she had to do. Actually, in the custom of the Jews, they have to do this. When someone comes, they have to wash their feet. They have to anoint their head with oil. They have to wash their hands. They have to give them a kiss of welcome, peace. But Simon had done nothing of this. But this woman had done. Why? Because she has loved much. That means she's more present to her. And she's more present to herself. That's the meaning of love. Look at what this love is when we express it in different ways. It is a deep experience of presence. And this presence is the presence of God that we want in the other. And we get disappointed because the other has not been God-like in their presence to us, in their good words or actions or whatever it is. So let us ask the Lord today to give us this repentant heart by which we surrender those inner blocks that we have inside us in our confession so that He can heal us and we can be back again. There's another thing that is said in today's first reading. When you have the gifts that God has given you of laying on of hands and healing people, this is what God has given you. Look at Cupertino. He was stopped from being in public for 35 years. Then the next pope afterwards said, let him come. And his presence was different, sometimes a distraction, but also something that elevated them all. Let us ask God to give us that humility which he had, obedience to God's will, and the outreach to others. Let's join our hands together, close our eyes. And as we breathe, always we are filled with Him. He remains in us. And when we breathe out, we remain in Him. Because it is in Him we live, move, and have our being. Let us offer Him all that we are, because we are each a unique cell in His body, and very important. Let us be our unique selves in Jesus and offer ourselves today with all that we are, so that He can transform us as He will transform this bread and wine into His body and blood. May we become more and more His living presence. Amen.